arrived at our client's home. My colleague Chris has actually gone to assist June in preparation to board our bus. It's important then that I remain with the clients and assess the bus as suitable that it's on flat level ground. The bus is completely turned off, so there's no motor running, so there's less likeliness of the bus will actually move when June's actually boarding. Ensure we position grab rails and ensure that they are in place and locked in, so as June's boarding, she's not likely to trip or lose her grip. So as June's arriving to catch our bus, Chris is just directing June to make sure she's got correct footing, positioning of the hand, and I'll direct June to the nearest available seat. Wonderful. You're comfortable there, June?
Yes, that's lovely, thank you.
Are you able to grab your seatbelt? Always ensuring before I leave the bus that our client actually has the seatbelt and it's been locked in and engaged. If the client requires any assistance, I'll actually support only when needed. Remember, we're ensuring that we empower our clients for independence rather than dependency. So we've arrived at our destination. Whilst Chris is actually preparing the outside of the bus for June to actually exit, I'm ensuring that June can disengage her seatbelt. Again, the bus is turned off and we've parked the bus on suitably flat grounds. June, when you're ready, if you'd like to stand. Okay, so from this angle, I'm encouraging June to support herself with the grab rails, whilst my colleague Chris is actually supporting the rail as well as watching June's footing as she exits the bus. Okay, just one foot at a time, nice and slowly. Beautiful. Where a client may choose to actually change the positioning of their hands, that is okay. Different height person, they may choose to actually come down then lower. So now we're actually looking at the use of our hydraulic hoist, but before we actually do that, we need to prepare the inside of our bus in preparation to board a client. So firstly, Chris will actually check that everything's clear. He'll use good manual handling techniques to lower the headrest of the seats with the first lever. Second lever is actually engaged so that the hydraulics actually puts the seat into an upright position against the wall and securely in place. The same process is repeated on the second seat. Again, forward, locking into place, using the foot lever to allow that to go into the upright position securely against the wall. Whilst Chris is still attending to the inside of the bus, I've come out to prepare the bus in readiness to deploy the hoist. In doing so, because I could be in a high traffic area, I've put on a safety vest. Ensuring I open the back of the bus up, ensuring that all door openings are actually firmly back so nothing's likely to close in on myself. Chris is actually still undertaking the inside preparation of the bus. He's actually removing any anchor points for our straps for our wheelchair from the provided storage box. He will place the rear straps to the side, ensuring they're not in the way. The front straps he can actually start engaging. They need to be a minimum of 30 centimetres apart. We'll actually demonstrate Chris putting those into position, lifting the lever up to actually lock them into place, ensuring that the red lever is facing forward to the front of the bus. With the rear straps, they're identifiable because they have a long seat belt which will actually go around the client's waist. Minimum requirement is a lap belt. Each bus should come with your policies and procedures with the operation of not only the hoist but the loading and unloading of a client with the use of the hoist and positioning of your anchor points and your straps. On the side of our bus we actually have the operating instructions for our hoist. We have our handset, which is removable, so I can actually remove it and make sure I'm far enough away. Turning the power of the hoist to on. Again, our bus is actually off, so there's no motor running and we're still parked on a flat level surface. Gauging on, I need to make sure my area is clear, so for my safety as well as anyone is around me. And whilst I'm undertaking this process, this is when Chris has actually gone to collect our client. So to deploy our hoist, ensuring it comes back, lighting will come on, bringing it into that level position. Once it's completely in a level position, I'm able to fully lower it completely to the ground using the hand control. At all times, watching my footing, ensuring that my feet aren't coming anywhere near the actual lowering weight. So once we've deployed completely the hoist, we return the handset, just in readiness for raising the hoist. In this time, Chris has arrived with our client, so we've got June coming in. Thank you again for assisting, June.
You're more than welcome.
Wonderful. So once Chris has manoeuvred the wheelchair into place, we'll actually ensure we've engaged the brakes and encourage June to support herself with the yellow handrails. This will be just some extra support whilst the hoist is rising. In the meantime, Chris is re-entering the bus in readiness to actually bring June into the bus. So again, at all times, I make sure June is prepared for the activity we're about to undertake, and we'll be rising the hoist now. June?
Thank you.
In this time, I'm ensuring June is nice and secure. At no time is a support worker or an additional staff member to ride on the hoist with a client whilst they're in a wheelchair. Once we've got it in a full upright position, we're going to again replace my handset, disengaging the brakes. Wonderful. I'm able to provide a push, gentle push in, and Chris can actually take over, so I'm not leaning into the vehicle, to manoeuvre June into place. In this time, Chris can actually commence attaching the front anchor points to the actual wheelchair. It's important to make sure when they're being attached, they're at a fixed place on the wheelchair, not anything that is removable, such as the foot plates. Whilst Chris is doing that, I can now place the hoist into an upright position and pack it away. So we're doing that. So I'm uprighting our hoist. Into an upright position. Once the hoist is in complete upright position, we're replacing the handset and ensuring we actually turn the hoist off. Closing each door, locking it into place, in readiness for our transportation. Whilst I'm actually doing this, Chris will be inside and attaching now the rear anchor points for our point of transfer. Ensuring that the strap has been extended, applying it to a fixed anchor point on the wheelchair, so it's a strong part of the wheelchair, bringing that back tight and adjusting the tension of both straps to ensure that there'll be no movement of the wheelchair. Remembering the wheelchair brakes are on and it's nice and fixedly fastened now. Once that is the case, Chris can actually pass the seat belt through to the client, ensuring it's on the inside of any armrest, it's not over any wheels. And once in place, Chris can assist the client to engage and fasten the seat belt, ensuring that it's secure around the lower part of a client's lap. As I said before, minimum requirement on this hoist is to have a lap belt. We've arrived at our destination, and prior to actually June coming from the bus, I've deployed our hoist, and in the meantime, Chris has actually removed our anchor point restraints for the wheelchair by lifting the red lever and the latch to come up, and has stored all 4 anchor points into our storage box so that they're not a trip hazard and they're away safely for the next transfer. Now, Chris, you can actually bring June back, releasing the brakes. Okay, bringing June back onto the platform. Okay, re-engaging the brakes on both sides, ensuring that there is room at the front for the front plate to actually come up so we're not crushing on June's feet. All in place. Again, June's holding onto the yellow supports. With the hands set in readiness, we're actually lowering completely, just ensuring at all times the area around is clear. And my colleagues actually come out now, okay, completely to the ground, can put the handset back into place, disengage our brakes, ready for June to be transferred back to her home. Thank you, June.
You're welcome.
Where a client isn't able to access the bus via the side steps and side entry, our client may actually enter the bus via the hydraulic hoist, ensuring that the client's hands are secure on the side rails. I've got my colleague Chris inside the bus, ready to greet June once the hoist raises. At all times, ensure my client is aware of what is the procedure is about to undertake. So June, we're just about to raise the hoist. Just hang on securely, please. Okay. So at all times, I'm actually ensuring June has got good posture and good balance, and waiting till she's completely upright. Okay, hoist stops. Now Chris is able to enter the platform to greet June and continue on into the bus and securely pop her into a seat. When we've arrived at our destination, Chris is able to direct June onto the platform, ensuring we're watching any trip hazards and encouraging June to hold on securely with the grip handles. Again, I'm keeping June well informed that we're about to lower our hoist, keeping full observations until we're firmly on the ground. Okay. Clients are encouraged just to remain still and not to move around. Completely deployed and we're on the ground and level. June's actually now able to exit safely. Key safety features with this hoist is we have an emergency stop button. So the event that there became a problem with this system, we would push hard onto the emergency stop and it will completely shut down any movement of this hoist. If in the event that the hoist completely lost power and was unable to operate, we would disengage the on switch, we would turn it to off, and we would remove the manual lever and take this around inside the bus. Once we're inside the bus, inserting the yellow-handed lever into the slot provided, and with a pumping action, we're able to manually raise the hoist. Okay. This may take time because you're doing it as a manual function. Okay. After we've completed it, we have it in an upright position. If we then had to lower the hoist again, slot underneath and doing a quarter left turn, we'll actually lower the hoist. We allow it to completely to lower. Okay. Ensuring that once it has lowered, we'll actually then return that quarter turn to ensure that it's right to actually use once we have full power. Ensuring we return our lever into the position at the front for safety and for next use. Whenever there has been a fault identified with a hoist, it's important that you report this as soon as possible so maintenance can be undertaken.